The traditional rituals have been completed and Zulu Kazwalatini is officially the 8th king of the AmaZulu nation. He succeeds the throne following the death of his father, King Goodwill Zwelithini, last year. eNCA reporter Siphamandla Goge is there and joins us for an update. Sipa, certainly a momentous day for South Africa and for the Zulu nation. A certain sense of finality. Does that effectively stifle any further challenges to the throne?
Not at all. Those challenges are far from over. Those who are disputing and contesting him will go all the way to the Constitutional Court. But simply put, today at least was significant for AmaZulu King Zulu Kazwelithini, as he has concluded all the traditional ceremonies and rituals that are needed for him to be recognized a fully fledged king of the nation. Remember, the ceremony of entering the kraal is very important, even though that ceremony itself does not amount to coronation itself, but it completes the part of the king ascending to the throne. So by performing all the rituals, it's not only about today. Today was just a public event whereby the king was meeting with his subjects here, and they comprise of his Intombi, Mama and Amabuto, all components of AmaZulu as a nation were there. But yesterday night from midnight till the early hours of the morning, 4 a.m., he was busy inside the kraal there performing sacred rituals that need to be performed before one can fully ascend to the throne. He entered the kraal already a king and emerged a fully fledged king. And one of the significant things that happened today is that he was given a very historical and very powerful traditional stake that is carried by kings, known as eNCA Yamakhosi. That was the final confirmation that he is indeed the king of AmaZulu, who is firmly on the throne by being given eNCA Yamakhosi. That is a stake that is carried by only kings of the Zulu nation. So he is now officially the king of AmaZulu. What will be happening towards the public government-led event, which is deemed the coronation, will be just a handover ceremony of a certificate of recognition by the South African government. Remember, the king cannot be coronated, or rather coronated by the government. However, government can only hand over a certificate of recognition. The king is coronated by members of the royal family and the nation. And after that, because South Africa is a constitutional democracy, the king, of course, has to be formally and officially recognized by the government so that he can get all the benefits, because South Africa is a democratic state. But other than that, what will be happening in Durban on a date yet to be announced, and Moses Mabhida Stadium will be Baba Sebonga Court. Ixotshiwe nenkosi namhlanje ujabule.
This guy's legit. I know you. No inkosi serious. I know akudlalwa la. No, umsebenzi sibonile sifile. I know isavuma ukuthi
isibongo kambo baba
uMadlokovu tusenkomo
Zulubazi camp. Siyathokoza wena si uphile mntakababa. Basically, the gentleman there saying, well, it's all done and dusted. The king has finally performed everything that needed to be performed. He's happy with the king, basically saying, well, we are happy with what has happened, with what has transpired. So there are still some people who are here at the Royal Palace of Wakangela Mankengane, as the king is still inside there meeting with some senior members of the royal family and special guests. There were people from Zambia, Malawi, Tanzania, Congo. There were also representatives and delegations from other nations, including Amampondo, a nation that has got historical ties to AmaZulu as a nation. AmaSwati are also here. Remember, King Misuzulu's mother is from the kingdom of Eswatini. She's the daughter of the late great King Sopuza of Eswatini. Amandebele were also here. This is not about AmaZulu, but Africans in particular, and them coming together to embrace their culture and heritage following today's proceedings. Let me add that there were attempts to halt today's proceedings two daughters of the late AmaZulu King Goodwill Zwelithini Zulu from Wakheto Mthandayo Royal Palace went to Pietermaritzburg High Court asking the court to interdict today's proceedings, saying pending the finalization of all the court cases, including the one that is headed to the Supreme Court of Appeal, whereby application for leave to appeal has been granted for Queen Sibongile Umadlamini of Wakheto Mthandayo. She initially wanted the court to deal with the issue of her marriage to the late king. Another application that was initially launched by the two daughters from Wakheto Mthandayo was the issue of the late king's will. They were contesting the signature there, alleging that it may have been forged, stopping the execution of the king's will. They tried today to stop the proceedings, but of course that matter was struck off the roll.
Sipha, you talked briefly about international dignitaries, African leaders attending today's event. Tell us which local dignitaries and officials were present at the ceremony.
Well, it was mainly business people, politicians, and just, prominent people and leaders of society. I spotted suspended ANC Secretary General Ace Magashule, former SAA board chair Dudumieni was here, Bridget Motsepe was also here. Who else did I spot? A number of people who came to support this ceremony today. I spotted Lindy Wenchalinchali, the MEC from Mpumalanga, who is the Deputy Secretary of the ANC in Mpumalanga. I also spotted Bheki Mtolo, ANC Provincial Secretary in KwaZulu-Natal, Siboniso Duma, who is the MEC responsible for economic development, tourism and environmental affairs in KwaZulu-Natal, was representing Premier Nomusa Dube-Ncube, former Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Sihle Zikalala, who's familiar with the disputes that are happening within the royal family, who now serves as the Kokta MEC in KwaZulu-Natal, was also present. So it was a number of political leaders. I spotted Vusi Khoza, who's the chairperson of the Economic Freedom Fighters in KwaZulu-Natal, and also Mtomuhle Kaula, IFP member there. And so it was quite a mixture of leaders and people who came to attend today's proceedings. A number of business people that also came to show their support to AmaZulu King from South Africa and within the SADC region. Let me also add that there was a delegation from Bulawayo in Zimbabwe. Remember, history has it that in terms of the record and background, Umzilikazi kaMashobane left KwaZulu at the time and fled to what is now modern day Zimbabwe and settled there, Bulawayo. So those are the people who've got historical ties to the Zulu nation. They were also here all the way from Bulawayo in Zimbabwe. Inside here there was also King Ndamase of Amampondo Asenyandeni. We had an opportunity to speak to him as well, saying this is not about AmaZulu, but it's also about Africans in general. Also Prince Kuduza from the Kingdom of Eswatini, who is King Mswati's brother, also Queen Mantombi's sister, Queen Mantombi's brother was also here to ensure that they represent the Kingdom of Eswatini. Oh, Mama Bes Piti Piti are busy here singing and dancing. Let me see if I'll get some word with Princess Topi, who is leading this song and dance here. They are singing. Ngiyaxolisa ukukuphazamisa Mageba usuku olukhulu namhlanje. Oh, Mama Bes Piti Piti, they are known. The late king supported them. Kusho ukuthini obekwenzeka namhlanje mntwana Topi? Ngizokubambela umbhobho.
Inkosi yami ngathi ngathini baba uGoge ngendlela engijabule ngayo ithe isiqhamuka ingonyama yamaZulu kwafika inyembezi ngakhala ngacabanga umama wakhe ngimsebenzela 15 years bene ngonyama yamaZulu ngijabule Gogo wena mjobela.
Oh, Mama Bes Piti Piti there, they are led by Princess Topi, Umntwana Topi, the late king of AmaZulu, King Zwelithini and Queen Mantombi. Really loved this group of women. This is Inzala Bantu. They are the ones who are responsible for ensuring that they bring up the young ones with discipline and respect, So them celebrating here today means a lot for the new king who has pledged to work with them as well.
Of course, today a very momentous occasion for the entire Zulu nation, and the new king, during his address to his subjects, speaking very clearly of unity within the nation. Give us a summation of his address.
Indeed, his speech was, very brief, not long, but focusing on key things. One, he took to the podium to accept the well wishes that people were giving to him, pledging to work hard in developing AmaZulu as a nation, saying he will rule them with honor, dignity, honesty and humility, pledging to work with them, saying, I'm your king, I'm here to serve you, let us work together. That was the message there. Of course, calling for unity within the Zulu royal family that has been plagued by disputes over the throne. Prince Siphamandla last week entered the kraal at eNCA Royal Palace, declaring himself king, or those who support him declaring him king of AmaZulu. On Thursday, there was that media briefing in Fourways, Johannesburg, by the late king's siblings, being led there by Prince Mbonisi. There was also Prince Vulindlela and Prince Mathube Sizwe. They are King Bhekuzulu's children, late King Goodwill Zwelithini Bhekuzulu's brothers, pronouncing on Prince Muzabazi of KwaDlamahlahla Royal Palace as their preferred candidate to take over the throne. They call themselves the ruling core of the royal family. They say because they are close members, or rather close members of the family, they are the late king's siblings. They are the one who should perform any tradition and ceremony that has got to do with the nomination, appointment, as well as coronation of AmaZulu king. Without them, they say that process will be deemed illegitimate, and they say based on their analysis and selection of candidates, they went through all the late king's children and they picked up Prince Muzabazi as the rightful heir to the throne because they believe that he qualifies, he's got all the qualities of being the king. So today, King Misuzulu Zwelithini saying what is happening within the family has to come to an end. There has to be unity, peace and stability within the family. If there is no stability within AmaZulu royal family, the AmaZulu nation will be divided, the province of KwaZulu-Natal will be divided, the kingdom will be divided. Thus, instability will continue to affect the rest of the country. He was pleading with all those who do not see eye to eye with him and who do not accept him as the rightful king of AmaZulu as a nation to say, please give us time, as we see the delegation from the kingdom of Eswatini here leaving the main house after engaging, of course, with King Misuzulu Zwelithini. Remember, they are from his mother's side, and that is the kingdom of Eswatini. So the king's speech was mainly about unity today, but also, assuring his subjects that he will work with them, he will rule them very well, and he will ensure that he strives to make this nation one of the greatest nations on earth.
Thank you so much. That was eNCA senior reporter Siphamandla Goge coming to us from KZN at KwaKhangela Mankengane Palace. We'll have more news and some analysis of the events today coming up after the break. Do stay with us here on South Africa Tonight.